on top of coming up with the right strategy, it has to be implemented properly. We conducted some research with a couple of partners on market CRM systems and marketing automation. A lot of companies buy these shiny objects. Well, we're told we need a CRM, so they buy it, then they don't use it properly.
So we've had this conversation before in prior episodes. The most important factor in getting a deal to a letter of intent and eventual sale is what is the upward growth potential of your business, what's your revenue mix look like, and how you plan on growing revenues. Can't emphasize that enough, as it is critical to the success of a transaction and also maximizing your value. So we're very excited to bring back today Joe Grace of Chief Outsiders. Chief Outsiders is a CMO fractional consulting firm, chief marketing officer, and sales organization that helps businesses implement strategies to either get back on the track of growth, grow their business, or if a company's in trouble, ways that they can, regenerate the company and get it on the right path again. So Joe, welcome back. I appreciate you coming back. I know you have a lot on your plate.
Oh, it's a pleasure to be here.
Great. So last episode, we talked a little bit about, how Chief Outsiders work with companies to, look at them from a holistic perspective and what they're doing, what they've been doing, and how to kind of change the model so they can be successful. And I thought today we get a little more granular, maybe detailed, talk a little about a couple case studies.
Sure.
I think you do manufacturing, service organization, retail businesses where you guys were brought in, parachuted in. A client came to you in need of help, right? I need to grow my business. Mm-hmm. I need to get back on track. So I thought today would be great to maybe talk a little bit more about how your plan, how you worked with these companies, and give our audience some good key ideas on ways that they can grow their business.
Right. Sure. Let's do it.
So I think I don't know if it's okay to mention the name of the companies, but one was a manufacturing company or distributor. Looks like. You guys got the phone call, and maybe you can talk a little bit about why the owner called you, what his big concerns were, with the growth of it, with his people as well, and what you guys were able to accomplish over your assignment period.
Yeah. This is a classic case, kind of company we work with and the problems we get to work on. So here's a privately held company, family-owned company. The CEO is second generation. It's a tool company, and their business for decades has been importing specialty tools from Germany, which they then sold through independent hardware stores. And as the markets changed and the big box retailers like Lowe's and Home Depot have more clout, their business was headed in the wrong direction. It was drying up. So they made a strategic decision to develop their own tools and under a new brand name, and to rely on those products going forward, find a way to market and introduce these products, and eventually get these products into Lowe's and Home Depot. So the first product was a new workbench, believe it or not, that was a dramatic improvement from traditional workbenches. It was lightweight, strong, easy to unpack and use and fold up. It saved time and money. It was just a great product. So the CEO decided to have his two kids, the third generation, who are in their 20s, very digitally hip, launch this product. So they listed the product on their website with a small description of the product. And over a period of almost 2 years, they hired 3 different digital agencies, spent over $200,000, and generated about $10,000 in sales. They were thinking about abandoning this idea and this product line when they called us. And I took a look at this and said, this is a great product. It's an innovative product. People are going to love this, but you need to change your strategy here. This is a product that needs to be demonstrated, and you can't rely on people looking for something new like this. You have to go out and reach your target audience and hit them with a great demonstration. And we're going to sell a lot of these. So they gave me a green light, and we created a omni-channel campaign, including direct response television. We produced a two-minute commercial,
Right.
and started targeting professional carpenters and woodworkers and so on TV with the right channel and programming selection. And all of a sudden, direct sales took off. For every $1 we spent in media, it generated $2 in sales. As we move forward with the program, for every $1 we spent in media, it generated $4 in sales. And over a period of 4 years, this grew to become a very significant 8-figure business. 95% of their sales now come from this new product line. And we eventually got the product into Lowe's and Home Depot. It changed the whole fate and value of this company. I mean, these guys just couldn't be more thrilled. Along the way, we developed the third generation and turned them into great direct marketers. And then we followed up with the introduction of additional new products. So today, this new product line is a hit. It's available everywhere in big box retail. It changed the fortunes of the company. And it all had to do with understanding the market and how to tell the story and how to reach the right target audience and do it efficiently without breaking the bank.
You know, that's a great story, and it resonates. You know, we just started our 23rd year in business, and we've had multiple conversations with business owners, some that became clients, some that didn't. And, you know, a lot of them, rightfully so, have developed, right? These are, you know, innovative, entrepreneurial men and women who've created these great products, but they're doing like, you know, $5 million in sales, right? And they've been doing $5 million in sales for, you know, 10 years. And they don't have the resources, meaning internal people, or expertise themselves, nor should they. You know, no, you can't do everything yourself, right? And how to properly market the product. But they come to us and they say, well, look, I got this patented product. Everybody loves it. And I believe my company's now worth this, but it's not.
Right.
I mean, buyers pay for businesses based on their historical results, but buy businesses based on the future growth opportunities. And if you can't show a cohesive plan to grow this product or product category to a buyer, you're going to get a lower multiple on your business.
That's right.
And these buyers are smart.
Exactly.
They said, I know how to market this thing, right? I know how to do this. So I'm going to get this company for, let's say, $5 million. In 3 years, I'm going to have a $50 million business. So the business owner, you know, again, we talked about this before. You're in the weeds. You're blocking and tackling. You're not just overseeing sales or doing it yourself. You're also involved with your manufacturing, your engineering, your personnel. Human resources takes a lot of time, and so you're kind of like, unfortunately, your focus is narrow, and you can't sit back and strategize.
Right,
like you're talking about.
You bring
here.
up a really interesting point too. It brought a smile to my face. You know, we do a lot of work with private equity companies.
Right.
And they're often buying companies that they think have a lot of marketing potential, but they're buying them at a lower valuation because the owners didn't come up with the right growth plan and strategy. So why sell at a discount to private equity, who's then going to call cheap outsiders and say, build us a growth engine? You know, hire us first, and you'll get a much higher valuation.
Well, it's interesting you bring that up because we have a large number of private equity firms in our database, and they're on our distribute. They see our deal flow, right?
Right.
But they're financials. They're looking at the numbers, but they have resources, right? They're smart enough to know that I'm bringing in this, sales organization, SEO team, marketing people, IT people.
Yep.
They have all these people on the bench,
Yeah.
right? They call them as consultants like yourself. Hey, look at this product. We think it's a winner. It's only been doing 5 million, but we looked at the market and we think there's a $150 million market for this company, this kind of product over the next couple of years. What do you guys think? And what's the better way of doing it? And so they're saying, and so you look at some of these, and I get the emails all the time because they're in our database and we're on their in their database. We just we bought X, Y, and Z for X, and we just got a 3 to 5 multiple on our investment. Right? That's a big number.
Yeah.
And
sure.
The owner's like,
yeah,
well, if he sold and maybe rolled some equity, he or she's going to participate in an upside with the second bite of the apple. And most likely it's going to be more than their first sale. But some of them are going to work a couple of years and leave. And, they got a nice payday. They're happy, but they're leaving a lot of opportunity and value on the table by not making that investment in the marketing side. The first thing people do is when the economy gets bad, they cut back on their marketing. Right?
Yeah, that's true. That's a mistake. Often.
I can honestly say,
or they're intimidated by the cost of it.
Right.
So when we first mentioned to this tool company that we think you ought to be on TV, they said, we can't afford TV. That costs millions of dollars. But that's not necessarily the case. The world has changed. Right. So I mentioned that they spent over $200,000 in 2 years on digital and had nothing to show for it. We produced a television commercial, a 2-minute television commercial. It's just stunning. For $35,000. We did a media test, a 2-week media test, $10,000 a week, a total $20,000. So an investment of $55,000 to answer the question, does this dog hunt?
Right.
And the answer was a resounding yes. Then you slowly increased the media buys week over week, and it became self-funding because every time you spent $1, you got $2 back. Mm-hmm. So the investment was very modest compared to the money that they had lost with a poorly thought out digital strategy.
And the key word there is investment.
Right.
Right. And so you invest, for every dollar you invested in the media, you got $2 back. My take would be when you're ready to sell, for every dollar you invest, you could get $5, $6, $7, $8 back in value by the growth of the business and the growth of your profitability.
Exactly.
So, look, I think it's really interesting is that people, they keep on, using the same old dog trick every single time when they're trying to sell something, and they don't sit back and say, okay, and, this didn't work. But it's like they invested all this money in a couple different digital agencies where they were clearly maybe should have hired somebody in with expertise like your firm, like your chief outsiders, to say, hey, wait a second, let's take another look at this, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
So now you got a successful business. Eventually they'll probably, either sell or now they have a growth mode and they have a growth story, and now they want to fuel growth, right? So they want to fuel growth.
They've got options now,
right? And they can sell a piece of the business.
Yeah.
So they maybe de-risk themselves. So they're not going to the bank and borrowing. They're bringing a financial partner, still have a strong, significant equity stake. So they've taken this $20 million company now to a $200 million company. So when they sell their 25, 30% share or ownership interest down the road, $40, $60 million, and they originally sold, 60% of the business, say 5 years ago for like $20 million. And it's a win-win strategy. So that's very interesting how you approach that. So that's a great story. How about any other companies you worked with that you may want to share with us a little bit? Yeah,
here's a story. It's got a different solution that I think might resonate with your audience. So here's a company that was selling a really unique and innovative solution for male incontinence. Male incontinence is a really big deal, and a lot of people have to use diapers and other things, very unpleasant. So this is a device that can help with that. It's easy to use. and so on. And these guys wanted to sell to private equity, but the business had flattened and was actually declining a little bit. They had to build a growth engine again. They understood that, but they weren't sure what to do, and they had this notion that their advertising wasn't working very well. As a result, there were fewer leads and fewer customers. So they hired us to help solve the problem. And we take a look at the business from every point of view. And the marketing side, the lead generation side was doing okay. We had some ideas to pump it up a little bit to generate some more leads at a lower cost. But it turned out the real problem was what happened after you got a lead. It takes 2 months when somebody calls and say, I'd like this medical device. It takes 2 months on average for this to be to get a letter of authorization from your doctor, and then to get approved by Medicaid. Medicaid pays for this, and then get the distributor sign off and to ship the product. Once they got a lead and started this process, they stopped communication with this lead. And so half the leads went away over a 2-month period because they didn't know what was going on.
Yeah, they forgot about
no communication.
Right.
We created a lead nurturing campaign via email and outbound phone calls to keep people informed along the way. And that one insight about how to nurture and take care of leads allowed the company to accelerate growth, double-digit growth again, because they did a better job of nurturing leads. We then applied that to customers, to nurturing customers, so they stayed on the product. So it wasn't an upfront lead volume question. It was, what do you do with the leads in the middle? And that's a marketing question, how you nurture leads and nurture customers and keep them engaged in the business. They eventually sold to private equity for a big number.
Yeah. So that's a great story as well. I mean, I think you're looking at something like, communication with your customers,
right?
Potential customers, ongoing basis. I mean, that's always something that, I think a lot of people struggle with, companies struggle with. We got these leads, and who's handling them? Who's managing them? What are the key performance indicators? We know where these leads are. We got so many leads in, and what did we close on? Why didn't we close them? What's all that? And sometimes that information just gets not addressed.
Yeah.
So
they didn't have a good CRM. So part of the solution was coming up with a good CRM that could handle all these communications, emails, and so on, and track the activity, so you could see the status of the lead.
Sometimes you could, we use a very robust CRM system ourselves, and we as Osage has invested heavily in that. Not only because of monitoring our outgoing deal flow with potential buyers, but also in communicating with our clients, that we can provide them with a push of a button. Okay, here's everything we've done on your deal so far, and send them a list. We talked to, we sent out 80 books. 40 of them are private equity, 40 of them are strategic buyers. Here where they are in the process. They have a feel. We can do that. We can, if they want it daily, we can do it daily. Usually we do it weekly, but they're fully informed. Say, hey, what are you guys doing? Because sometimes when we're heavily in the marketing process, we want them to run their business. We run the process and then inform them. So just to this same example you gave us, it's important to have that communication, as you said, with a good, robust CRM, so you can automate some of this stuff. Right?
Yeah.
Go back to Mr. Smith or Mr. Jones, 2 weeks later, hey, just want to let you know where we are. Things are moving along. And then, as you said, here's a company with declining revenues by making, I won't call it simple, but a strategic, well-implemented marketing strategy. They built the value of their business. And it's a great success story, because you only get one shot at it. I mean, if you're going to sell your company, right, it's not like you don't get a mulligan, right? If after the business is sold, you realize that with all this things that this new buyer is going to put into it, says, well, I should have done that. I could have got an extra 20, 30 million from my business. So making that investment in the marketing end right now, and seeing these things like you guys did, right? Like Chief Outsiders did, about, hey, here's a strategy to think about. And you collaborated and they invested in it. At the end of the day, increases value. It's all about the growth story.
Yeah, it's true. And on top of coming up with the right strategy, it has to be implemented properly. We conducted some research with a couple of partners on market CRM systems and marketing automation. A lot of companies buy these shiny objects. Well, we're told we need a CRM, so they buy it, then they don't use it properly. And so that's an example of that. According to Gartner, folks, mid-sized companies who buy marketing automation tools only use 40% of their capabilities.
Yeah,
and
that
so,
makes sense. Yeah.
So you need a senior marketing person to help implement this stuff and to use it properly.
Right.
So
Someone's got to quarterback it to make it work and successful.
Right. Yeah.
So Joe, these are great examples of how you, Joe Grace, and Chief Outsiders works to help companies grow. And we greatly appreciate you being here. And maybe we'll have you back down the road and kind of do an update about how things are going with you and maybe some more examples so we can help companies grow. And I appreciate your time today.
I'd love to come back. I'm a big fan of you and Osage and what you guys are doing to help mid-sized companies. So anytime, love to.
Well, thanks again. So again, my name's kdee. I'm president of Osage Advisors. We're an investment bank working with business owners and their families looking to sell. If you'd like to see more episodes or listen to us, you can go to our YouTube channel, The Ins and Outs of Selling a Business, and hit the subscribe button. If you have any questions, you can feel free to send me an email at kdee@osageadvisors.com or pick up the phone and give me a call at 860-767-3273, extension 1001. To learn more about our firm, please visit our website at osageadvisors.com. Thanks again for being with us today, and have a great day.